Good evening and greetings to everybody. I apologize ahead of time. I'm at Taco Bell again, and I do apologize for missing y'all last week. I definitely missed you guys. As you can see tonight, community and Christianity. Over the last couple of weeks, it's really been on my mind about everything that's been happening down in Texas and various other areas um, through the South after the events of Hurricane Harvey, and with the next hurricane potentially bearing down on Florida, it's really been on my mind, and especially with the way that it connects with, like for instance, the church that I attend. Um, One of the biggest things that I have seen on the news concerning the flooding in Houston and all the excessiveness there, one common theme has come out that people are helping people. Community is coming together, helping each other. Strangers, or, it's not mattered how much money they've got, what their background is, any of that. You're seeing a group of people who saw people in need and right there, trying to help them out, rescuing people who are in fear of drowning. Um, Communities coming together, uh, the safe areas, the rescue shelters have been overwhelmed through this, and it's just a way of people with a common tragedy to be together, joining together. It's been amazing that some people who lost everything are right there helping others. They're going through the same tragedy together, and it reminds me of something that my church does. I believe I've commented about it before. Is the entire we have what we call connect groups, or some call them life groups, cell groups. There are numerous names. Basically, this is where you know the church that I attend has quite a few members that attend it, but we sign up and we with just a small group of us that gets together a couple of times a month. We get together for fellowship, a little bit of Bible study, um, just a way that we get to know each other on a more personal basis. Um, as I stated in the description, you know, Christianity is more than just going to church on Sunday. We are a community of believers. Um, Even when you look back to the first church, the earliest days of the church, it says that they broke bread together daily. Daily. Now, that makes a huge thing to do something on a daily basis. That tells me that these were a group of believers that didn't just get together during service time, but they took the time to get together regularly. Um, that's how we get to know the people, really get to know the people. I'm sure many of you that attend church, how many times are you at church on Sunday morning and somebody's like, hey, we're going down to such and such restaurant, and just a whole group from the church goes together to the restaurant and they spend time. I mean, that's literally breaking bread together. It definitely makes a difference. I've actually been a part of three different community groups, connect groups, however you want to describe them, and people that I was in my first group with. Now then, a year and a half later, and we're still fellowshipping together, even though we're not in that same group together. I had the distinct privilege and pleasure of having lunch yesterday with one of my friends, one of the friends from that first group. I so it's kind of left him alone at home, and you know it's that opportunity to get together. You know, I happen to be single, not dating, and it was an opportunity for us to just fellowship a little bit. I got to learn a few more new things about him. He got to learn a few new things about me. We just, eh, you know, we we honestly really didn't even sit around and talk about church or God. Much of that, it was all personal stuff, getting to know each other on a personal level. You know, I don't just ask this of you guys. I'm speaking this about myself as well. There are plenty of people that I go to church with. I know them on a first name basis. We smile, shake hands, give a bump, how put it. There's plenty of people that I'm just that way with at church. But there's a lot of them I couldn't even tell you what they do for a living. That's my fault for not trying to get to know the people that I spend intimate times of my life with God in worship as a community. Now, how many people do you go to church with that you could tell, even not even tell, but what kind of work they do? Um, there's some of the people that I'm closer with. I know that one of them happens to be a professor at a local college, reasonably local college. um, you know, I know two or three of them that happen to be business owners. Now, I do know more specific details about these people. One of the people that I agree with at church, um, that young lady owns a restaurant. She's amazing, one of the friendliest people you'll ever meet. She is so awesome. But, you know, I have been taking the time to get to know these particular people. I honestly have because they deserve it. As people, they deserve it. They deserve our attention. They deserve the honor. We all do. The honor of people truly getting to know us. And I know it's the same way with so many of you folks, because we're all the same. It doesn't matter if I'm doing a YouTube broadcast for you guys. Doesn't matter if it's the pastor of your church. Doesn't matter if it's the person who cleans the toilets at your church. We're all the same in God's eyes. That is what is truly, truly amazing. So I know I'm going to take up a challenge this week. I'm going to take up a challenge, and I hope that you'll join me in it. Um, I'm going to do this myself, and I'm going to try to remember to report about it next week for next week's show. Find someone new at your church. Just go up, talk to them a little bit, find out something about them. You know, that's where we build our strong relationship. These are the ones, the scripture says iron sharpens iron. And it's so very true. This is why we need these close relationships. The church that I go to, we really don't click up. I mean, obviously, there's going to be people of like and similar interests that kind of gravitate towards each other. But but I can honestly tell you that I attend a church where it doesn't matter who you are. The richest business owner in our church can go up, go to dinner, have a blast with the most broke person in our church. Because the focus of all of this, the focus of this entire thing, the entire focus behind all of this, of getting to know others, it's all about love. Our message I guess it's kind of good that I did get delayed last week because this was going to be my similar topic. But yesterday, our lead pastor came from our main campus to minister to us, and I love that man and his wife. They're just such great people. And the message had to deal with the Good Samaritan. Obviously, a pretty strong focus with Hurricane Harvey going through Texas and going up through Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, and further on as it died out. But we're all familiar with this story. Here was somebody who was the bad guy in his day and age. This was the outcast. This was the reject. But this was the person who took the time to care for the one in need. I'm not bringing this out about. I'm not bringing this out to bring out why. Oh well, this is why we should give our time and our money to help those in need, because it is deeper than that. Sometimes the need is somebody in your church. What if they're single? What if they're recently divorced? What if they're recently widowed? What if it's like my friend, where their their spouse happens to work out of town for days at a time? These are people who are lonely, and sometimes all they just really need, because you never know until you get to know them, of what their life away from the church is like. And maybe all that they need is just, it might make their day if tomorrow, out of the blue, you just sent them a message on Facebook. If you've got their number, just sending them a message, just chatting with them for a few minutes. You might make a complete difference in their life, but just by something that simple. That's what makes the church so amazing. You see, uh, Daniel brought this out a few weeks ago, talking about, they knew the early believers because of their love. And, eh, even when you look at the story of the Good Samaritan, he gave of himself. He paid the wages to the innkeeper. He poured his wine. He poured uh, his olive oil. He put that injured man on his donkey, and he walked, leading that donkey with that injured man on it to an inn. He paid the innkeeper, said, "Listen, this will take care of some things, and if you happen to spend anything, anything above and beyond, I'm going to be back through, and I'm going to pay you the difference on it." It was inconvenient for that Samaritan, but he went through the inconvenience because of the love that he had for the one in need. And I have found, even for myself, that sometimes that good deed is inconvenient for people. And I'll be honest, that's sometimes a lot of the reason why I don't ask for things, why I don't express needs to my friends and family at church, because I don't want to be an inconvenience to them. And I know that it's an inconvenience to them to do such a thing. Um, so it's I think it was just the way that I was raised. The family that I was raised with was big about helping others, but I really never saw the family asking for help. Not that we necessarily needed it, but that's kind of been imprinted on me. And because of that, it's so easy for me to reach out to help others. Um, I'm not going to go into the list. I've discussed ways that I've helped others with people I was close to in the past, and they really trashed me for it. They tried to say that I was just trying to seek that I was just trying to seek that I was just trying to seek man's approval on it. Like the Pharisee that was praying openly before all. They accused me of trying to get man's praise for the things that I did before God. And what I was trying to do was show them an example of what true love and true giving was. So for that reason, I'm not going to express some of the things that I've done. And again, I'm not saying that I've done these things in order to brag. Far from it. But it's just it really comes down to the entire thing of um, what what can we do as believers to build the community in our own local group of believers. Um, and it is important. My local campus pastor just last week, his message kind of hit on the whole idea. It really kind of hit on the whole idea that um, that we are the average of our five closest associates. So wouldn't you just really like for your closest associates, the, the closest associations that you have, are believers? Are the people that you go to church with? Now I'm about to say this. I say this next thing with an actually a rather heavy heart. But it's sad to note that there are some churches where people can actually be better by not having their church members as their closest associates. And that's a sad commentary on where some churches are today. I definitely say that with a heavy heart. But most churches are not going to fall into that particular category. I fortunately have found a church that definitely doesn't. And if your church is not being that way, start being that example. Start being the one who builds the positive influence. Now, if God leads you to go to a different church, then well, God's leading. But you know, grow where you're planted. um, Work and build that community. I personally love. I say it all the time. I personally love my church. It is that strong community. I wish I could get all of y'all to come to church with me. My church, the church that I attend, is just that great. Um, I work with great people in the area that I serve in. Um, so many great people I have met in the couple of years that I've attended that church. But I'll leave you with this. I'll leave you again with the challenge that I presented. Find somebody that you really haven't talked to that much at church. Just, just don't just go to them. Loving on people a little bit. Just go, introduce yourself, have a little bit of a conversation, learn a little bit about them, learn learn something new. Learn something new about someone that you attend your local service with. You might be amazed. You may find somebody that you have so much in common with and never even realized it. Once more, I kind of apologize for all of the extra noise. I do happen to be out today. Um, I hope this came through pretty clearly for y'all. And just know, you know, we here with Berean Heart Ministries, we love you guys. We really do. We look forward to fellowshipping with you, either here on our live YouTube channel, um, on our Facebook page. Hey, you can find us there, facebook.com// Berean Heart Ministries. Look us up, find us, join the page. Hey, if you like what you're hearing here, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell next to it. We want to make sure that you know when we're coming on air next or when we post videos. Until then, on behalf of Daniel, who couldn't make it here tonight, just kind of keep him in prayer. On behalf of him, on behalf of the rest of us here with Berean Heart Ministries, we say one more time, Shalom, peace to you. God loves you. Shalom.